I'm Rosalinda Rodriguez, and I am 13 and 0. I'm currently living in Florida, but I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Um, I got into boxing. I guess I could say I always had that protective instinct as a kid, protecting my nieces and nephew. So
So
when I
when I
moved
moved
here,
here in Florida, because that's where I really got into the boxing, couldn't join any sports, martial arts, or any of that because we couldn't afford it. As I got a little older, I kept bumping into these gyms, and I'm just like, wow, what is this, you know? But I've never knew that they had women's boxing. And so one time I saw Layla Ali and Chrissy Martin fighting on TV. So when I seen that, that really caught my attention. So that's how I really got into boxing.
Nice. I was always curious to ask, like when you got into boxing, did you ever get into like any amateurs, or did you just go straight into the professional rankings? Right.
No, actually, I was an amateur for about, I think, 8 years. And it was hard to get um, fights in amateur. I mean, I have 45 fights in amateur. And I probably fought maybe like once, maybe 3 times a year in amateur. Um, then I then my coach decided to turn me pro because they would say I have a familiar style as a pro, and I would start a little late. So they said, it's time for you to go pro. But I've been hearing that for like 5 years after the doing amateur. 8 years in amateur I did is because they couldn't find any opponent for me to turn pro, so I had to wait a little bit longer.
Oh, yeah, because I was always curious about, I guess like the matchmaking for women's boxing, because I would assume like, if you're in a lesser populated division, it's very difficult to try to get opportunities with anybody that's willing to get up inside the ring with you. But I've just never really been so educated to the point to know like how difficult it is to actually get into your, professional career.
I thought it would be a lot more easier, but then you're dealing with politics and promoters and just what they have to do to look for opponents. A lot of people don't want to fight. There's always excuses. So I thought it would be easier knowing that there's like 100 and something girls in my weight division in professional. You would think that we would fight more, but I'm still trying to understand it myself. So
Yeah.
I'm learning as I'm going.
Yeah. And I would assume, as far as like the like, I guess like your competition goes, have you like basically like dealt with, I guess like certain, certain style matchups that have given you problems? Like, what would you say that like would be like the biggest weaknesses that you could, possibly improve better in a fight?
Um, Weaknesses. Um, I don't know. I adapted to a lot of styles real quick, and we make sure when we train because we don't train for a specific opponent. Like say if they're a brawler or a boxer, we try to train for the person to be coming at me as like the ultimate fighter that has everything. So we make sure we box. We make sure we have strength and speed at the same time, footwork. So I try to prepare myself for all those situations. I don't just go in there and train and get in the ring and fight with one fighter that's gonna come in one style. We try to prepare ourselves for like everything because you never know. They might get in the ring and just change the whole thing. You think they're a brawler because you've seen their past as a brawler, but no, they might come in and start boxing or countering. So we try to prepare all those things.
Yeah, because I was just always curious about, I guess like as far as, like I guess at the level of competition, for that particular division? Because it seems like that division's pretty weak enough for, certain girls that are actually good at that level to, dominate the division. And I personally think that you're pretty good enough to actually defeat a lot of those ladies that are touted to be like the top fighters. I would assume that like I guess that the tougher names would probably be like correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say it's those Mexican fighter ladies. I forgot who their names were, but I would say like those fights would probably be like I guess at the more higher tier opponents, right?
Yeah, if they're up there in the rankings and they've already, they're like number one. I would say between uh the top five or even seven. But yeah, because I would say it would be a little difficult because they have that high altitude, coming out of Mexico. Or I've always told my coach, if I fight anybody in that top five division, of course I would train more up north
Yeah,
or somewhere with high altitude because you need those lungs for those situations.
yeah, because I just don't think like the ranking system is very legitimate for boxing in general. Because like for me, I used to wrestle in high school, and how it works is that if you keep winning in tournaments and in actual high school matches, your coaches will put you into those higher tier difficulty, tournaments. So that way, when you're ready for states, or if you actually want to like elevate your skills to the Olympic high level, they actually put you through those trials and tribulations to make you feel ready enough to elevate your game to the next level. So I just kind of feel like for boxing, like it's not like leveled enough to a fair matchmaking system to like help you as a fighter be like, okay, I'm ready for these people, but how do I get there? Well, that's like the bigger barrier roadblock, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've been trying to face some top fighters that hold titles, and it's it's a little difficult because it's either the money situation or they want things in their terms. But other than that, I mean, eventually it's gonna happen. I mean, if you're a title holder, you have to go up against the number one contender. So I'm like I said, I really don't know how it goes. I'm just learning along the way because I haven't been in that position where I can fight the top. But we're getting there because I'm getting younger, so it's eventually gonna happen. You know,
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for my moment.
yeah, because I just hated how like some of these fighters just get ratted out of title shots, and especially like when you're going for those like semi belts that don't really have so much clarity. It's still kind of like holding them down in a way because I'll just use like a guy like Oshagi Foster for that great example. He got like what like the WBC silver belt at 130, but basically like I want to say, according to him, he basically said that didn't mean anything for him because he's still having to like wait through a long line of other fighters that are like being politically like I guess like barricaded away from him to go up to like higher rankings. So I was just always just curious of like like when you get that certain opponent that you knock off that's like high up there, does that just elevate you to the number one spot, or do you just have to go through like so many loopholes to the point where you just have to wait until like you just get that call that say, hey, do you want to fight for like a world title, even though that it could be like a short notice preparation for the fight?
Sometimes it's like that. But I mean, I've got calls where they wanted me to go for the WBO, and it was short notice. I haven't fought in 2 years because of the whole pandemic and promotional problems. So when I got a call for like 3 weeks in, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna sacrifice my health or anything else for just I'm not gonna be no one's stepping stone, you know.
Yeah.
Just I'm gonna put like that. So I mean, I've worked too hard to get where I'm at now. So why am I gonna just jump into it from a whole 2 year layoff, you know? But I think you do have to fight the top fighters to be, you know, up there. But I mean, I guess that's how it goes, you know. Um, like I don't know at my weight division because I just currently went up to 122. So right now I'm just learning who's at the 122 division, and we are going for the WBO at 122 in Miami in December 4th. So
Oh,
we're gonna see
nice.
how where that takes us. Yeah.
And I believe that champion could be shit. I want to say it's Daniela Bermudez, but I want to say that's not true. No. I want to say actually no. Like I actually don't know right now, but I want to say like either some uh like I want to say it has to be a Mexican fighter or it has to be like one of those Argentinian fighters, but either way, I hope you do well in that, and I hope you knock her out because I don't think a lot of these ladies can handle you, um, to begin with.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was gonna ask, who do you train with, like as far as for your career, right?
My coach. You mean who's my coach?
Yeah, yeah, coach, right?
She's a 7-time world champion. Her name is Ada Velez.
Oh, yep, yep.
Yeah, everybody knows her. Who doesn't know her?
Yeah, I actually spoke with her like years ago, when I was in high school, and it was like basically like I grew up watching her when I was a little kid, and then years later when I was in my teens, I sent her a message on Facebook telling her that I like watching you. I think like you were one of the best fighters out there, and she credited it a lot, and ever since then she's just been like a very down to earth person, and I just liked everything what she done, and I wasn't so sure if she was actually training fighters, but then once I heard your name come around, I was like, oh wow, that's very interesting. And I've just been following, I guess, her training legacy ever since then.
Yeah, I've been working with her for about I think 8, 10 years, something like that. It's been a while now. Um, but our styles are completely different. Like she's more the I'm gonna rip your head off type. Um, and she just got that power, and I'm more like I'm gonna hit you, but you ain't gonna catch me type. I mean, you can fight her and not get hit because I mean she throws with power with bad instincts, and then she'll block them and counter again. It's like she taught me that part, um, but I learned a lot with her. You know, mixing it up as my boxing style and then countering with the blocks.
Yeah.
I mean, she showed me a lot, a lot.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Like you're an orthodox or a southpaw? I'm not so sure.
Orthodox.
All right.
She's south.
Yeah, cause
So
I'm, cause I'm a southpaw, and my philosophy always goes down for historical boxing, boxing historianism. I truly believe in this quote, but I believe that southpaws run boxing, and I just like all the southpaw fighters. But I always give my respects to the orthodox legendary fighters too. So um, I always give respect to any fighter that puts it all out there to be the best.
hmm
But as far as your style goes, are you more of a boxer puncher or are you more of just a pure boxer?
um, when I came to Ada Velez, I was pure boxer. I mean, I would stick and move constantly. She showed me how to stay grounded and stay there, and then drill those punches in. Because now we step a lot more than just so much footwork. we only use footwork when necessary. You know, like if we're in a danger zone or, you know, they just want to come at you, like bully you, then we use the footwork. But other than that, she has taught me how to step on my punches, conserve my energy, which is very important when you're going for longer rounds. So I've learned a lot, like I said, with her, and having the both of the, you know, the best worlds of a brawler, a southpaw, and how to counter, and then my boxing footwork, you know, putting it all together. I mean, it's great to have all the knowledge of both worlds.
Um, yeah, because the reason why I was curious to know about that is just mainly because of how you would execute your game plan coming into the fight, and it seems like you're more of just going through, I guess, at the feel out process, and then once you're able to turn it up and either stop your opponent or just outbox them, it seems like you could just do it both ways. So you probably would say that you have more of like a versatile ability to adapt a lot quicker to outread your opponents a lot faster coming into a fight, right?
Um, I do. Like I said, we train for all types of styles. We don't try to train for one. I always keep in my mind she's gonna do this, she's gonna do that, even though they're not gonna do it, or you know, my thinking could be different from what they're thinking about. But you never know. You just gotta go in there prepared for all types of a fighter.
I see. Who would you say that would be like your biggest top rivals that you want to take out at 122?
I mean, if I could do it at 118 because that's originally my weight. Like I said, I don't know who's at 122. Um, I'm still learning who's at 122. But at 118, I wanted to fight a lot of the top girls. I mean, now I don't even know because I've been hearing a lot of fighters beating a lot of fighters now. So it's been hard to like pay attention to who's in the rankings now. But I do know there's one girl they want me to fight. I think she's British. From I forgot her name.
Who, Shannon Courtney or Rachel Ball?
Yes, yes, yes. That's the one.
Shannon
She had
Courtney?
no, the other one.
Oh,
She had
Rachel
just
Ball. Rachel Ball.
no, no. Shannon Courtney.
Yeah. That was with the white girl that got beat by Jamie Mitchell.
Exactly. Yeah. So we were waiting to see what happens with that. Now that Jamie Mitchell has the title, we want to go after that title, but we got to think about right now. So I'm trying to get this WBO and the IBF, but I think that's the belt they currently have right now, right? The IBF.
Who?
Jamie Mitchell just.
Jamie Mitchell has the WBA belt as of right now.
Okay. So I don't know what's gonna happen between them two. If they're gonna give, if she's gonna give her the rematch. I know she has a rematch with her, so I don't know if she's gonna wait on that or they're gonna fight again right away. So we're gonna see after I get my title, and from there we'll decide what we're gonna do at 118. I don't know if my promoter wants me to continue fighting at 122, staying there for the moment, or going back down. So it all depends on what's gonna happen.
Well, I really hope you do knock off Shannon because I do love Shannon, but her mouth is a little bit too sassy. So I think you need to give her a little bit of that salsa with that merengue, and you need to be like, go back to your little corner where the red coats are, and drink that little tea of yours, and you know wash away into the sunset.
I know I really don't like mouthy fighters. They just need a
a little
punch in the mouth sometimes.
a little beat down.
Yeah.
But no, like
I was I was surprised Jamie Mitchell beat her.
yeah,
But she did. I ain't gonna lie, Jamie Mitchell did get better. She, from what I've seen a couple years back, she need a little more work, and she's progressed. She got better. I mean, now she's looking a little sharp. So now is the time where I feel like I love sharp fighters, and I want to fight the sharp fighters, the ones that look good and will make the fights. So she did pretty good fighting her, and I give her props for taking the belt and bringing it back to the U.S.
Yep.
So hopefully she keeps it, and we can fight.
Yeah.
If not, then I have to go all the way over there and fight this girl.
Yeah, cause like me personally, like I don't really like watching European fighters a lot. I've always been of just basically like influenced under the mindset of looking at American and Mexican and Puerto Rican fighters to be a lot better, just simply because like they're always consistently fighting one another. So that level of competition is a lot more versatile and a lot more difficult in style versus for like all of those European fighters or like other foreign fighters, like most of them just know like know how to do standard up and down amateurish boxing, and it's like that's not
It's
going to
true.
help you, as
Yeah.
you get up to the higher rankings. Like, I'll just use Anthony Fowler as a great example. Like, I've never liked him as a fighter, but when I saw him face Liam Smith, I was like, no, like, I don't think he's going to beat him. But I was never gonna see that fight go the distance because Liam, at least for him, as much as I don't like him, he's fought dangerous competition, but he also has great knockout power. But he knows how to outbox and outbang somebody. So when Anthony tried to take that risk to outbang with him, he got knocked out in the process because he has like no footwork, he has no defense, and he has like no ring IQ. So it's like me personally, like that's how I view European fighters. Like they're just too basic and too fundamentally disadvantaged because they just don't focus more on like I guess on the versatility, like you said, as far as like adapting to people's styles and making those quick minor adjustments in order to make the fight easier to win.
I'm actually half Puerto Rican, half Mexican, so that's probably what helps me develop that drawing and the boxing parts.
I never knew you were Mexican, but I love Mexican people. They are the greatest people on earth. But I most importantly love my Puerto Rican heritage more than anything.
Yeah, I'm both. So I mean, an amateur was always a problem to find where I go because I always told my coach that Puerto Ricans look for Puerto Ricans and Mexicans are with Mexicans. So it was always hard for me to find where I belong in boxing because in amateur we were trying to make one of the teams, and they either would ask me who's the stronger side, like is your father Puerto Rican or your mother's Mexican or the opposite. I'm just like, oh god, does it matter.
Yeah,
So
and I mean
I
people.
still I still struggle with that a little bit because like I said, Mexicans stick with the Mexicans and Puerto Ricans stick with the Puerto Ricans. So I'm just like, I don't know where to go with that. All I know is I just get in the ring and do what I do best.
Hey, as long as you waving that flag for whatever you like are proud of. So I mean, like people can't be hating on you for that. But
True.
I've never really been taught that mindset because I just look at it as just like a sport for people to be the best of who they want to be in. But it's like for those like racist casuals that are just there to divide people and be very pessimistic and evil. I'm not for that. I'm all for like unity and just basically to see like the best fights ever. So I'm not there for like political brownie points.
Hmm.
But
I wish I wish they would think like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it's just so stupid and it just like ruins I guess like the popularity more because it's like like what we've seen in like like I guess like recent fights as of this past year. Like I just had Michael Fox on my channel like I believe like last week, and me and him like we're talking about I guess the fight that he had with Gabriel Maestre. But after that fight itself, he gained so much traction and notoriety to the point where people actually was like furious at the WBA for what they done. against them, and then on top of that, let the Minnesota State Athletic Commission, actually stood like right behind them. That even made them look a lot more worse as far as like their imagery goes. But ever since then, like I guess like Mike, he pretty much told me that he has like a lot more to gain from it because it's like like everybody that supported him and actually got behind him, it actually made people wake up a lot more to the corruption in the sport. And I just truly believe if that does continue to be more active, especially even for women's boxing as well, that will definitely change change like the landscape for the sport of boxing. And I hope that can come to fruition one day.
Yeah, of course, of course.
So I was going to ask you a couple more questions in regards to I guess like your Puerto Rican um, I guess like fan base. Do you have like a certain like venue that you fight in to garner more fans to like support you?
I mean, I've never fought because right now I currently stay in Florida. I've never fought here in Florida, and just recently I fought in Tampa. And at my first pro debut, I fought in Lakeland, Florida. But it's been so many years from my first fight to just recent. And the next one is in Miami, which is basically where I started my boxing career. Um, I've fought ever since then in pro in every state, and I could never get like anybody to come and support because flying out there is too many people. But yeah, it was exciting to at least get a little crowd in Tampa, for my friends and family to come out and support me. But definitely in Miami is where it's gonna be at. Like I would say, a lot of people I know is gonna go because that's where it all started. A lot of people know me there, so I'm gonna try to get everybody to go.
Nice, I can't wait for it. Because I really wish like women's boxing fights were like premiered on like bigger platforms like Top Rank or PBC, or at least like DAZN to say the least. Because I'm actually happy, like of the fact that DAZN is actually posting more female fights on there, and
I was gonna I was gonna say the same thing.
yeah,
Yes, they're doing a great job putting women out there.
yeah, and the I would assume like that the media itself would actually cover a lot more female boxing if it was like on bigger networks like PBC or Top Rank, because I wouldn't think for a second that they can't put at least like 2 to 3 fights on, and then at least have like I guess like a set schedule of like having like female world title fights on like big cards like a Errol Spence or a Deontay
Yeah,
Wilder or like whatever type of big name that's like going to go down. They could easily do that. I'm pretty sure that they can, but it's like but the political um, like I guess like political landscape of things is just so you know unnecessary to the point where it's kind of feeling like to me it's like segregated from men and women to like have their own boxing like events. I don't know if you can agree with that.
I do. I don't know what's going on with Top Rank. They've had what, two girls? No, one girl. They have Michaela Mayer
Yeah,
fighting, and I think Golden Boy Promotion has Marlene Esparza.
and
I
Sanisha
mean,
Estrada.
yeah, and I don't know. They need to put more women out there. I mean, the zone is doing a great job, and I love how the zone is putting women's boxing out there. From we're talking about from 118 and higher weight categories. So we're seeing a variety of weights for women's boxing, which is a great thing. And every time the zone has a fight or a female fight, I'm always watching. They make sure they put at least one woman under their card. And it doesn't matter who it is, as long as and not to not to what do you call it? The way they're doing it is like they're picking great girls and not picking just some random girls off the streets and putting them to fight that makes
Yeah,
us look bad. and I'm glad that they're doing that. And I wish they would do that more in other promotions, but I really don't know what's going on with that. You would
Yeah,
think times have changed and it would get bigger in women's boxing.
yeah,
I feel like it's getting there, but slowly, a lot slowly but surely.
yeah. And I just wish like boxing was set up like a league per se, similar to like the NBA, because I was talking to some people about that, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, there was a fighters league for boxing. It was called the National Boxing League Association, but I want to say it got like outlawed in certain aspects of like sanction bodies taken over, and that's why that you see like the corruption and like these sanction bodies like not putting on proper fights on, especially like like when you see like a up and coming prospect going up against like low tier competition that's not even like on any ranking sanctioning body board, and how they get built up throughout their career is just like through like certain fixed matches that are just fit for their style for them to build themselves up to the world title level. And I kind of find that to be a bit unfair because it's like I could kind of take that example with a guy like I'll just use Devin Haney as a great point. When he was coming up, he was taking fights down in Mexico, and he got his name built up a little bit. And then when he brought his talents over to America, he had to basically go from the ground up to try to get all the tough fights possible. But the only way he was ever to do that was that he had to become his own boss by running his own promotional stable, because I guarantee you, even if he was to try to go with a promoter, he wouldn't have gotten that far, and he probably would have been held back a lot sooner, because it just doesn't make sense how Devin he's able to do everything right with his career because he's taking control of it. But then when you compare that to guys like Lomachenko, when he's on the come up, how is he able to get a title shot right away? After his like what second fight that ended up being like a loss to Orlando Salido, and then like he basically was able to get another title shot against Gary Russell, in which by the WBO rules it states that you cannot challenge for a world title if you're coming off a loss. So by that margin, but the matchmaking is like broken by that logic.
A lot of people say Devin Haney is not even like the real world champion. What do you think about that? Like,
Oh
he doesn't.
man, well, you definitely came to let the right person, because I'm a true Devin Haney fan, but I'll just
Don't
keep
get me
it.
wrong, me too.
Oh,
Me
okay,
too.
okay. Because I was thinking, that like you were gonna pull that Teofimo Lopez fan base question
Mm.
on me, but no. Me personally, I look at Devin as like the real champion, similar to of like what Lennox Lewis had done to Riddick Bowe back in the day. But I truly believe Devin had earned his status simply because of the fact that he worked his way up to fight Lomachenko. And remind you, he was gonna fight Luke Campbell for the WBC title, but then Lomachenko he stepped in front of that and said, "Well, you're not gonna fight him. I'm gonna I'm gonna fight him for the title." And when he beat Luke Campbell, Devin was supposed to be next in line to fight Lomachenko, and Lomachenko didn't want to fight Devin. So what happened was that he tried to go for the WBC franchise belt to avoid Devin Haney, so the WBC can protect Lomachenko's, I guess, like political status. So when Devin Haney got elevated to the WBC championship status, Lomachenko decided to go his own route and just, I guess, like fight guys like what Jorge Linares and like whoever he had to go through until he fought Teofimo. So ever since then, when Devin he got his belt, Teofimo Lopez was trying to make up all this nonsensical arguments to say that Devin's not the real champion, but by the WBC's rules, when you get the franchise belt, that does not make you a champion. That just makes you a designated fighter for political status, which you can only keep it in one division, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, it's just there to
That's true. Yeah,
yeah,
he wanted to go up on weight 140 for that
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
defend it. Crazy.
And it's not like, transferable. You can't bring it to other divisions. You can only have it in one division. So,
Mhm.
like once you have it, then you have it, but it's not applicable to every fighter. Because if that was to be the case, why doesn't Deontay Wilder have one? Like, why doesn't Errol Spence have one? Why doesn't Jermell or Jamal Charlo have one? If that's going to be the case, why does it have to exist in the first place? Because it's obviously used as a political legalization tool to get away from people that you don't want to fight. But as far as Devin's legacy goes, it's like he earned that spot, and he said it from the beginning. Like, Lomachenko don't want to fight me because I'm his mandatory, and he never wanted to fight him. He never even made mention to Devin's name, even when Devin said, "Look, I'm ready for him. Put him in front of me, and I'm ready to fight him." But ever since then, Lomachenko never said anything about him. And then, I don't know if you kept up, I guess, like without the boxing news lately, but the WBC had recently came out to say that Devin Haney is their champion. So Teofimo Lopez isn't even, the champion to begin with. Basically, by the franchise status, if you want to go for the title, you can petition to the WBC to become a mandatory to that belt. Which is weird, but it's like, I guess that's what the belt is supposed to be there for. I usually call it the French fries belt because it's basically just like a belt that's you know
Yeah.
non-valuable.
Why they gotta make boxing so complicated? What happened to fighting the best of the best, and then that one belt, they get the one belt, and that's
Yeah,
it. That way.
I, I don't even see Katie Taylor calling for that belt because if anything, shouldn't she use that belt to call herself up the franchise champion to not fight Amanda Serrano?
Aren't they supposed to be fighting?
That's what I was hearing, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. I think Katie's gonna stand right behind Eddie Hearn to not have that fight happen.
Why do you think that?
I don't know. Like, I just think Amanda's style is all wrong for Katie, and I think Katie's not, I guess brave enough to take on the challenge. Then again, we'll find out.
I really don't think it's that they want, the styles or anything. It's just, I think it has to do with who's on the A side, B side, all that crap.
Yeah,
So they want to make everything in neutral as much as they can. So it's always, most of the time, fighters' negotiations, it's most of the time always that. They want
yeah,
everything in their terms and who's the bigger shot caller and, shit like that. And that's why a lot of these fights don't happen because they want everything in their terms. So it's always that. And then we end up not seeing a good fight, on the long run. But
yeah. I,
that's why I would say Pacquiao was the shit in his time. That's why I say Canelo is a shit right now. And who else do we got that's out there that doesn't give a crap who is who and is just fighting?
I don't know about that, but I can definitely respect your sentiment. um, but no, I was gonna finalize to ask you, as far as your legacy goes, what do you want to give out to your fans that will look up to you in the future? When it's all said and done for boxing.
I mean, boxing is a very difficult sport, physically, mentally, everything all around it. The people. Um, I just want to just say, no matter the situation, even in life or boxing, just keep going, keep pushing to get to your dreams and become what you want to become. Don't let no one stop you. That's always number one. Show the haters that you'll do anything and whatever it takes to become whatever you want. That would be my message. I'm still fighting for my dreams. I'm still trying to create a legacy if there is one that I can make. Like there's so many records broken, so I have to figure out another way of breaking records. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that would be my message to all my fans. Just keep striving for greatness.
Nice. I can't wait. Do you have any last words for your fans or people that look up to you?
I love you guys. Keep watching, keep watching. It's only the beginning. We just started, and you know, see something new that a female can do. You know.
Nice. I can't wait. Um, well, I just want to say I thank you very much. I had lots of fun doing this. Hopefully, we could do this again in the future. And
Of course.
I wish you luck to that title fight. I hope you beat the crap out of that woman. And long live Puerto Rico. Long live Mexico. And until next time, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll see you around. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.